All right, that's what I had to make sure. Hi, Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services. Just setting up my iPhone to monitor that I got good sound. So if you're catching in the very beginning, I did not have the microphone turned on. Okay, we are being heard. Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services. It has been a while since I have been live, but I have been busy. If you've been keeping up with the channel, you see I've got quite a few shorts that I've been posting, and some of the viewer requests I've been getting to. I'm in Studio B, so what you're seeing behind me is my wife's clothing collection still wrapped up into plastic. Studio B is a separate part of the house where I've got actual natural light coming in. I'm not down in the basement, and I've upgraded the system to be able to now use somewhat of a live setup. Of course, when the lights do dim down, I have additional lighting already in place that I've been using. And I've got two cameras now, as you can see. So this gives us now an opportunity to be in a more, I'll say, comfortable setting versus being down in my studio where I've got all the lights and three cameras and touching this, that, two monitors. I'm actually using my iPad as a external monitor for where the viewer requests are. Can't pull them up on this page yet. As you can see, I've changed the way this page looks. This will be the page for this type of presentation. Let me just do this because I'm very sensitive of how things look. Let's bring that over center a little bit. Okay, I think we're all right. I got everything right here in front of me. I get sometimes a little bit fidgety if I don't see things aligning pretty good. So this is another opportunity for you to ask questions. I'm monitoring to see who comes in. Let me just give a welcome in the comments section. This afternoon is good for those here in the United States. All right, we got our comments in the stream. Let me just adjust it so that when comments come in, I will see them directly. As I say, this is Studio B. So Studio B hasn't had Ecamm set up as Studio A does downstairs. Why won't that move? Okay. Got a lot of stuff here that is not moving for me. All right, I think I got it now. Okay, so we're going to go to the comments section that has the request. Now, I'm very open. That lighting there on my left side, I'm going to turn on another light so that I don't look too out of it. Let's adjust this and bring it down a little bit. Smooth it out. There we go. That looks better. So I'm very conscious of the viewers who actually do put in requests. As I often say, I never know the skill set of the musician. So when I go into the breakdown, depending upon what song it is, I have to be cautious that I'm not giving too much. I think one of the comments that came over from one of the newer viewers was, you talk too much in the beginning of your videos. I says, well, I'm talking to whomever has requested a breakdown because I don't know their actual skill set. So this gives me a time to make them comfortable with how I'm going to approach the song. And I don't want to give too much of what I would play because I have probably 50 years of chords, 50 years or more of chords. So I'm not trying to turn the song into how I would chord it, but I want to be able to use the chords that I can decipher or transcribe from just listening to it. So I'm going to go into, in fact, let me do a warm-up because I always start off every session. I start off with a warm-up so that you can see that the warm-up is what helps train the ears and loosens up the fingers to be able to hear what's happening. And I believe that's coming across. I'm actually monitoring. So it's a 30-second delay going to my iPhone that is monitoring this. So I haven't warmed up to yet. I haven't played anything. Let's get this on the right side. So what would be, my camera's right here. What would be the optimum key to warm up in? Some will say key is C. I say you warm up in whatever key you've gotten comfortable in warming up in. Me, it could be any key. If I want to go to B major and start my warm-up scales, if you watched all my shorts, you see that I've been doing something like this, just to show you that it doesn't have to be an actual standard warm-up. It is what you use to get your fingers and your ears in tune. I could go to middle C, go to D flat, do more than one octave, go to E, and switch up to E flat. I could go to A, finish it off on the right hand, and let the left hand pick up from there. So I'm kind of, because I've been doing this for decades, basically, on my own, defining a way that I could get warm and comfortable when practicing a song. I found that what I do is just to get into the music first, once I got a picture, because I already know where the high notes are chromatically. And because I take care of my hands, I don't have to worry about having any tightness in them. But we'll stop at C. I was watching and I'm having conversation while I'm waiting on people to come in that may get the notification late. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. Please don't forget to I didn't know that screen was not going to change. I guess I've got to go back and redo this. But yes, like, share the video if you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, and make others aware that we're on live. Welcome, Jeff. So I'll do chords just to hear where these chords are, get my hands used to actually spreading out across the keys, and I'll do it in all the keys. The same sound. Now it took me a while to get this stretch. I see my camera is playing with the lighting that's in here. Let's see. There was a fix for that. I had to readjust its positioning. Give me a second to readjust the camera. There we go. So that doesn't look so washed out. This is the Korg Chrome 88 keyboard. This is the one that's been waiting to replace the Yamaha, which is down in the basement. So now it's in full duty. I can go to any key and hear the same chords. G flat, A major, B flat, B major, and back to C. Too loud so we're not over pushing everything. All right, so we're going to look at the viewer requests that are in the queue. I think, what, 10 minutes now we've been here. Make sure that I got a good view there. Yes, I do. And I like to go to the oldest first, but then I realize sometimes some of the viewers will ask for a song that will take me time to have to listen to. So let's see who we have. That's that I haven't gotten to yet. Some I will air if it won't be a problem. Okay, we got 10 days ago. We got 12 days ago. I think I covered that one. Yes, I covered that one. God himself is with us in G, intermediate to advanced skill level. God himself is with us. Sounds like a family radio type song. So let's, again, you can't see what I'm doing here. Let's pull it up in YouTube. Let me go here. All right, so I did listen to this one. I didn't start work on it. Not sure if you're going to be able to hear this because I've got it going through another device. But let's see what we got here. Okay, you can't hear it. Okay, so it's already in G. I believe that's how it went. Let me just let it play through while I play with it. Sorry, I had to go on mute. The wife was asking me a question. So, and just listening to the song, it's traditional, what hymnal style. It's got generic chords. And sometimes I always wonder, do the reviewer want me to turn it into a gospel song? Because I like to learn the song the way it was first introduced, and then see whether or not it would benefit from throwing in the jazz type chords with it. So let me just listen to, again, you can't hear it. Tell you what, let me map it. Let me map my sound to the system this way. I can at least give everything's about teaching for me. So I got to show the concept that I use. All right, so I think it should be in here now. Let's see what we got. All right, so it is not coming across. Let me just look and see what I may need to set up to do that. The mixer I have does not loop the sound. Yeah, okay, so no, you're not going to be able to hear it. Does not loop the sound into the system. That's an upgrade I think I'm going to have to do. I have a couple of workarounds when I'm using OBS, and I haven't learned that workaround yet for Ecamm. But let me just listen to it. Okay, so what I've got so far. Okay. 1, 7, 6, 3. And that would be the actual bass chords. Again, the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the major scale, 1 again. So the chords are following the 1. It's really a 5 chord, but the 7 note is leading it, 6, and into the 3, and that's where we are so far. Who joined us? All right, let me continue with it. Okay. So it's a hymnal type song. So it is not requiring all the gospel movements that you would hear. So 1, 7, 6, 3, 4, 3. Stay in the 3. 5, 1. So that is the opening verse. Verse, chorus is how these types of songs are constructed. Adding some contemporary gospel turnaround or passing chords. So for our review, those would be the more upgraded chords, passing tones to help bring out. Let's listen to the verse part. All right, so it changed up a bit. That's the change. To put a major there. All right, so let me play along with it just to clear that up. Changed up. All right, so it's changed up. The musician is throwing in a lot of chords, so I'm trying to catch what the musician is doing. Okay, I've got it. So the music melody has one thing, but the musician is throwing in alternative minor and major chords in particular positions. The 1, the 7, 6, 3, repeats. Now he put a plus 5, 3, 1. And these chords are hearable to my ears because I practice major scales. Because then when I know when a note changes, it's one note sharp, one note flat from the major scale. So this would be the normal chord. But the minute they go here, that's then the major scale. This is one note off from the major scale to give me that sound. And that's how, why I stress playing scales before you begin any kind of practicing, so that when you're playing a song and a scale note changes, you will be able to recognize it. All right, back to the beginning. All right, so I'm struggling with it. The melody is in the major scale. It's the chords that are being assigned to the melody I'm working with. And for the viewer who requested this song, because I've broken down songs in the past for this viewer, what you want to do is establish the melody in your practicing before you begin to assign your own chords or the chords that you believe could make the song sound a little bit more modern, or maybe that's probably the way to put it, because the melody is happening here. Let me play along with the melody just so I can, again, enhance that positioning. I went to the beginning. That's melody. Okay. So that's your melody path, again, which is the major scale. So the chords they're assigning or which changes to. Now I said 2 because that's where the bass note is, but they're playing a 4 chord. That's gospel music for you. All right. Not many more chords that I can assign to this song because it does follow a set path. What you want to be able to do is, if it's a song you're doing for a local congregation, it may be best to static your chords, to hold them in place and let them do the melody. It up. You can throw this in if you want to do a little contemporary move. You know it's going to the minor. Was a 5, 4, 5, 1, 4. That'll get you there. So let's listen to the verse, and then we'll go to the next song. So that'll take us through that song. Let's see who was next on the list. That was God Himself is with us. And it says intermediate to advanced skill level. Again, some songs, when you start to reharmonize them, you take away from the song. The melody is the lead character in this song presentation. So you don't ever want to confuse the melody with so many chords. Don't mind me, I'm getting things flashing up on my screen. Oh. All right, so the next viewer request on the list is, let's see what we got. Can you please do Revive Thy Work, O Lord, in the Way? Key of G major. Okay, usually when I get a request for a particular key, they don't want to do it in the original key. But let's see what it sounds like. Revive Thy Work, O Lord, in the... Okay, Revive Thy Work, O Lord. That's the title. I'm looking at the whole typing. All right, let's see what this one's. Hopefully there's not more than one version of it. Ooh, okay. Another hymnal type song and many different versions. So let's find one that is an instrumental with lyrics, hymn. Let's see. Trying to find one where people are actually singing it, so this way I can hear the lyrics. Okay, here's the choir doing it. Let's take the choir. So it's a hymnal type song. Okay, they're doing it in F. So I need to hear it in one key and then transpose it up. 2, 3, 4. Okay, I gotta find another version because they're not singing it with any gusto. It's young people singing it. They're not too happy. Okay, here's one that may be a little more musically in place. Oh, it's in G. All right, there was an opening there, which is good. Organ playing it. Let me see if I can catch it in G. Okay. Kind of messed that up, but that's scales, which is major scales. Let me try and clean that up. just from right there. Usually, what I will do when it's a hymn that I'm learning, I got to hear the melody, and then hear the chords that were assigned by the person playing it, and then start to separate them, take off less chords, so that I can hear the actual path of the song. Not sure how many are still here, how many are going to be viewing this, but this is a live viewer request live, and of course a conversation. I believe we only have 4 in the room. I believe it says 4. I'm just checking to make sure how many are coming in. So please feel free to make comments. It's like my camera is shifted. Let's turn that a little bit right there. So again, this is for the viewer. Revive thy work, O Lord. That's where we stopped. Let me listen to the melody, the rest of it. Okay, very basic. So that's your verse. So let me listen to what the chorus is going to be. All right, very basic on the chorus. Let me listen to it again. Okay, so let me see. Let me get those chorus chords again. That's the first part of the chorus. And then back to the ending of the first part. Two. so a song that is going to be based on the number system. You're going to hear a lot of one. You're going to hear the two. You're going to hear the five, and those are the I have to call them the actual template chords. Those chords are always going to be in place. What you're going to be doing is now adding a little more to it to be able to to embellish on those chords. Now, what I'm listening to is an organ playing the entire song from the hymn book, which is great because I love the hymn book playing of an organ because I can hear the chords that they are interjecting that you would hear in a Sunday morning service, versus a song where you've got so much instrumentation, drums, bass, synthesizer, choir, a lead. This is just music. So this is in my wheelhouse of how I like to learn music of this type. Just give it to me straight. Let me hear the melody. Let me hear the chord changes before I begin to, as they say, add a little different, more seasonings. Let me just listen to some more of it and play along with it. Not many chords left in this song. All right, so I've kind of got without just listening to it for the past, 2.5 minutes, who just joined? Can you go over preaching chords? Sure, I can do that. What I'm hearing is the actual pattern placed around this song. So now I can branch off a little bit if I were doing it in a different setting. Slowing it down. So there I added in some of the contemporary chords, some light jazz chords to not change the melody, but to enhance it to sound a little bit more modern, other than. So that's what the organist is doing, strictly the hymnal. So the chorus part, let me listen to the chorus part again. Okay, revive thy work. I would leave that straight, but now you see I'm actually stretching the chord out. I'm gonna add this chord. That's the chord they're using, but I'm stretching it out. That's like a straight jazz chord. There's your jazz chord right there, but and that's your CCM chord. We'll go a seventh. Diminished chord. We go here, resolve, and finish it off. All right, so that should give our viewer who requested a breakdown of this song. Let's see if they let me know anything different. Key of G major, can I do? Right, revive thy work, O Lord. Okay, yeah, we covered it. So we have a viewer just joined us, Michael Knight. That's a very television worthy name. Preacher chords in what key, sir? because it really covers a huge gambit when you want to do preacher chords. What I have is in the workbook, which I can't pull up because I did not set it up for here. But I have a workbook that you can get at my Patreon site. It's there, patreon.com, Samuel Tolbert. You can join for free and download the church musician workbook I created back in 2011. It is still pertinent today for musicians learning to not necessarily master, but to become more comfortable in playing for a church setting. Preacher chords is one of the lessons for the intermediate musicians, only because preacher chords requires you to have a good knowledge of major sevenths, minor sixths, and diminished chords as a starting point. Preachers have a knack of not giving you a lot of help when you're playing preacher's chords behind, because you don't know whether or not you are pushing them or pulling them back from what they are capable of doing. So we'll go to where I've been able to decipher most preachers are going to preach from. Usually E flat is where they're going to be, and again, it depends upon the preacher. But the chords we'll go to C. What you want to have when you're doing preacher chords is a bass, and that bass is going to be your lowest note. Now, in that bass part, as they say, the actual basement of anything is where you're going to build on top. There's your low, there's your high, there's your middle. In this range, that's your range. These are all the chords you have available to you. These are jazz chords. Or the diminish up, or but the intent is to have a platform in which the minister can ride on. Now let me see. I did do a generic preacher chord virtual. Let's see if this doesn't crash on me. It shouldn't. Let's see. Let's bring it up in the older program so that it doesn't crash. Bring it up right here. All right. Let's see if we can. I got to plug in another drive. Give me a second. I unplugged the drive that has my vocals on it. Shouldn't crash the system. All right, let's open up. Now there it is. And let's see, preacher chords. Where's preacher chords? Ah, we go, preacher chords. Yes, I did do a lesson video trying to emulate what a preacher is going to be doing. Now, as I said, we've got to see if we can map this to where this can hear it. Let's send it to doing it live, as you might say. Okay, let's all right, let me see if it comes over here. I'll be able to hear it or see it loop. This is for preacher chords. Let's see if it will pick up here, just in the default settings. All right, it's not picking up. Give me, let's see if I can add another source. Okay, system will not allow me to add through another source, playthrough. What does that do? Enable playthrough from USB device through Mac's built-in speakers. Yes, do that. Okay. Let's play through. Now I'm hearing an echo. All right, turn that off. Okay. Who joined? Welcome, Gens. Yes, I am having a great day. Setting up something different here, and I did not know I was going to pull up an audio file. Give me a chance to see how to incorporate it. If I bring it in as a screen share, will it allow me to map the voice? Let's see what happens. You're going to see a few things pop on my screen right now. All right, so there's my virtual. Let's see if it will play through now that I've got it mapped in here. No, it doesn't. Okay. As I say, doing this live, so let's get rid of that. Let's map it. I'm going to change my audio. Let's send it to here. Okay, so I'm sending my audio through something else, but now I think I'm going to lose my keyboard. Doing it live, as they say. Let's send the output to the same place. Where am I sending it to? Pro Tools Aggregate. Okay. Oh, it does go through there. Okay, so I think now we should be okay. So let's just test our virtual preacher chords. It's in a different key. Be nice if I were to map that out to there too. Give me a second to map it to a virtual output. Okay, now we've got it. When the storm clouds gather. Okay, doing this live. We've mapped it there. Let's go back into sound, go to input. All right, so we changed the input. Let's see if that. When the storm clouds get. All right, so we're not going to be able to do this, I see. That's what I missed about the downstairs system. It's got the device that allows me to loop the sound from anything on the keyboard. Here, it's making me do loops and hurls just to get sound through. One other thing I can try, but that means I'm going to risk crashing the system. Let me do this. Doesn't want to work through there. Okay, that was my error. Mapped the wrong sound. Let's try sending it to Bridge. I just want to see if it's going to play.
When the storm clouds gather and the night seems long,
but you're not hearing the piano because
hold
I can't map them both in
on,
the
my
same spot.
brothers, hold on strong.
All right, so how can I now map my keyboard sounds? Can I map my keyboard to there? I bet you if I go into here and output it to input. All right, so we can't do both. Oh, but can I do that? All right, give me a second. I'm going to bring up a virtual piano. That probably will give me a way to send the sound there too. So let's bring up. I'm looking for a piano to bring up. Okay, let's go to contact. I've got so many things, options I'm looking at. Where to send the audio. Why is it not giving me? I'll just turn on all of them. All right, let's go get a piano. This system should be able to handle it. Just give me a basic piano, that's all I want. Yeah, grand piano will be fine. Let's see what we got. Of course, you can't hear it, neither can I. So let's look at the settings. Do here. Where are we sending the sound? Sorry for having all this dead space. Didn't prepare for this. Certainly not in the B studio. So I'm not seeing the options I need to see for directing the sound, voice handling. That's where you should be. All right, so this is not working out. All right, so it's like we've got to kill that idea. We're not going to be able to play through the virtual. Though you can hear it, you won't be able to hear the keyboard because they're not on the same, they're not being mapped to the same device. There's got to be one more way to do this. Yeah. Who joined us? Sorry for the lack of content right now. I'm trying to remap something so that I can, you know what, I can do that. Let's save it as an audio file, but let's put it down in C first. I can do that.
When the storm.
Let's put things back the way they were so that I can hear it. Then I'll put it in the key of C. Okay, so it's in the E flat, so let's take it down. I'm going to save the file after I bring it down to the key of C, which is a good practicing spot. So I'll bring it down to the key of C. And wonderful things you can do with software. Let's send it out, mix it down. Let's see where we're going to send it. Send it to oh, I can send it here. I can get it. Audio files. And it's bounced it down. It's closed out the program. Now, of course, the issue will be if I can't discard that. Can't hear it here. So let's see what happens when I do this. Let's choose a file. Oh, okay. It sees the file, but it's not active for me. Why? Choose a file. There's the audio files. In fact, none of the audio files are opening for me. All right. So I'll just have to do generic because I can't get an audio file of a generic preacher count. So the 1, the 4 with a minor 6, sharp up 4, And on the 5, you want to resolve. And that's how you want to look at it. 1, 4, sharp up, 4, and then the 5. Battery on my watch has said it's gone down. Now that's a generic 5. It can be here. That's why I said you need to build a chord palette so that you're not limited to just the same chords. Or, and then back to the 1. So 4 chords you're going to need. 4 chords. 1, 4, 2, 3, 4. That's where you would start. Now, what happens there is that if the preacher does not go in that format, they may stay in the 1. So now you've got to have another set of chords which can parallel being in the 1, which is usually the scale of the jazz minor. All those chord progressions match the jazz minor scale. You saw I was just doing a series of just chords. But every time I change the bass note, which is your number system, those chords match. That is the beginning of a palette for actual preacher chords. Because if the preacher is going to sing in the major, then it's got to be major chords. And then end in a minor. Of course, you got the tritone. Preacher chords are much easier for an organist because they have their foot pedal to give them the lowest note, which is the bass, and then they can double up on their full length or the fat chords with the left hand. But it is doable on the piano because I did it for a good portion of my life as a Church of God in Christ musician. You had to know how to do preacher chords. So that gives you, as I say, I'm not knowing your actual skill. Welcome, Hezekiah. Knowing your actual skill level, Michael. I don't know what you have to work with, which is why I said you should go and join my Patreon.com, Samuel Tolbert, for free. You don't have to join the paid version, but in the free version, I make accessible the chord workbook that has all of these changes and more in every key. So if you were to go to D flat, E, D rather, E. There's E, F, G flat, and I give 6 chord changes. Do you have to use them all? No. Again, you have to be able to know when more is needed and when more is not needed. But it's good to have an actual palette in which to work from. So without a sound of a preacher in the background, and I don't think with what I have here, let me just see something. If I change this. Okay, that's not going to do it for me. Because I've got my Chrome mapped to another screen, I would be able to pull up a generic preacher preaching and then give you a better understanding. But it's about having a full chord palette to work from. Why is that off? That bothers me when I don't see something straight. Welcome. Could you go over Song of Hope by Candy West? You might want to skip to the first 30 seconds trying to hear the the runs in it. What are they doing? That's Michael, if need some more, just type something else in the comment. Again, preacher chords are. I'm doing fine. Doing fine. Hezekiah. So Michael, you may, if you have any other questions, again, it's hard to just give you chords if I don't know what chords you or what patterns that you're currently using. But you want to develop your own set of patterns from listening to other musicians. And so most time musicians won't show you their preacher chords, or they'll play them fast, or they'll hide their hands. That's why I have them written out so that you can see what they look like from my standpoint. They're the chords I used when I played for preachers, and sometimes, as I say, less is more. You may just want to be in the one, but have a run. All these chords are in the one. All in the one. All in the one. You go to the 3, you can still use the chords in the 1 before you go to the 4. Now it could be a minor 6, right? I don't have the chord name up there. Or it could be this one with a flat 7th on it. That's the chord I use. Or they can go straight 7th. And of course, there is the technique of short, long, short, short, long as a bass line, because you don't know how long to hold a chord, or if the preacher say, hey, hold your fire, because they're not ready to go that far. As I say, preacher chords, it is like learning how to make a souffle. If you open up the oven too quickly, it'll fall flat. It's the same thing with preacher chords. If you push the preacher too much, you may get that look, or you may get that that talk. Hold off. Don't push me. So it's not an easy thing to teach without having an actual preacher cadence in the background. So let's look at against the. I can do that because I do have it shown there in the screen. So let me go pull it up from Patreon site and put it in the. Copy the link. Link copied. And there you go. All right, so let's look at this song, Song of Hope by Candy West. Now again, I'm not up on every song because I don't need to be anymore. I am retired. But that doesn't mean I can't learn or decipher what any song sounds like. The very same techniques I used as a young musician still works today. Nothing has changed. It's all music. Song of Hope. Candy West. Okay. I can hear it in my headphones, but you can't hear what I'm listening to. Or I did until I remapped all my. Let me remap the audio again. Output. There we go. All right, I always listen for first of all the key, which is D. Then I listen for the patterns that I can recognize. Then the chord changes I can recognize in the pattern. Then go down to the different movements in there. Drop 2 is at that point. But seven, jazz or R&B, which just gives me the chord. Have that incorrect right there, but that's what I'm hearing just by listening. And then now, because generally I always listen to a song all the way through before I start tearing it apart. And if there's time, you could go through a 5-1-4 and a bounce, 5-1-4 or a 1-4 bounce or 1-4 bounce. Oh, okay, the bounce. I love the bounce, especially on the piano. So let me see, you had a question about let's skip to the first 30 seconds to hear the small runs in it. Let me go back and because I'm already 2 minutes into the song. If I can get my mouse to play. Okay, first 30 seconds. Well, let's listen to all of it. Oh, okay, yeah, skip all that talk. So that's one run I hear the first 20 seconds in. Again, shorten it down in the scales. Right in the scales. This chord is in the scales. That is your CCM 5 or 4. Yeah, 4. CCM 4. I'm just throwing in my own chords right there. Let's listen some more. All right, so there's the movement. They give you that, it's diminished, I believe. I didn't have the chord names displayed. Again, it's trying to rebuild this page. Where is chord names at? Ah, there it is. E minor or G minor or C, C9. Probably because I'm not set up in the key of D. Still a C9. G major 9. As you expand on a chord, you get to find all those different different approaches that you can add to it. Because the song is really, it's locking. It's a studio song. So the studio songs are really the best ones to learn because they don't allow the chords to go all over the place. So it's just staying in there. So those are your chords right there. That's that one movement. Again, one note away from the scales. That's the major scale. That note is one note, either plus or minus, that you hear in the song. All right, let's see what else we can pull some of the movement. I'm certain that you've got the song down already. Let's listen some more. Okay, so there's just the just getting the chords down. All right, let's continue. All right, that's the other move I just heard. Which is why it's so important to practice scales so that you can know which fingers you want to assign to a run like that. All right, let's listen some more. All right, so the song has a pattern, and you stay in the pattern. you look for what you can possibly add to what you're hearing being done, and which I've already shown you in this song. I'll make sure I don't miss any of the comments. I'm actually monitoring on my iPhone. I think the inversion chords, let me move my mouse to here, and let's drag this down so I can stay current on the comments. Oh, I just played it. Which one? What did that run? Or the of course it's in timing. I find the first inversion chords interesting because I get to build diminished voicings easily. Second inversion chords, favorite reason being I normally build diminished voicings easily with them. Okay, hopefully I showed you what I just showed you, because I was going through so many of them. I am not sure what I did, but again, in listening to the bass of the chords, then I can hear when there's a run being introduced out of that bass. This is the bass chord. There we go. That's the bass chord. From the bottom, when I set by bass, that is the overlying chord of the song in D flat. And they're building all the chords off of that. They're building this chord off that same chord. Just adding that. Then they're going back to here. Still the same chord. And then they go to the change. Just by adding that. And then back to the bass. So the inversions is where you can go and find and introduce your arpeggios, which is just finding the chord, a G minor over the C. That's the full chord right there, but you're just arpeggiating, breaking up the notes. Or I can never get this one right. There we go. Those other chords I would introduce to be able to break up the monotony of just playing. I break it up. There it is. A flat. There we go. There we go. D flat. D rather. So many different movements can be attached to this type of song, because the song has its patterns, and now you're allowed to go up, down, around, under, up, across, or bring in the, let me see, F, F to E flat, F, which is your more grandiose big band sound. Once you know what the chords are, you can find your way, how you want to get there. And put that sus chord, I believe it is, or +9 or sus, +9. All right. Don't think there's any more I can share. Music is such a, once you grasp what it's doing music-wise, all of a sudden, all the chords you've heard in any other song become available to you. I hate when I see this thing move. I gotta tighten that down. There we go. Let's go back to our viewer request list. Let's see who else is on there. So we covered God Himself with us, and we just covered Revive Thy Work, O Lord, key of G major. Let's see, what else is on the list? I know there's another one. Oh, someone wanted a tutorial on a song I did called Look and Live. I combined the hymn version and the actual, the second contemporary choir version in the key of B flat, Look and Live. Now, hymns have a special place in my musical interpretation. I always want to play a song, a hymn, the way it was originally written. Then when I hear another group take that same hymn and convert it into a more contemporary version, I'll use both in an actual particular setting. When I had a male choir in my last assignment at a Methodist church, I taught them the actual contemporary version because they knew the original version. Let me see, B flat. So that is the traditional version of Look and Live, scales. Now, is it the hymn book version? Melody, yes. But the chording that I'm using is what I like to call the gospel version of chords, where you are looking at 3-part harmony. Not hymnal, but the gospel, because gospel singers sing what they feel, not what they see. Your more traditional singers, like I had in the Methodist church, they'll sing whatever note is on the sheet music. So you got to match that. Otherwise, they won't hear the correct note that they went home and practiced. So that is the traditional way. Let me see. I've a message from the Lord. Hallelujah. A message, oh my friend, for thee. I believe it's the lyrics. 'Tis recorded in His word. Hallelujah. Diminish. -6 on the 2. 3, 4. Only that you look and live. Boom, boom, turn. Look and live to my brother. Live. Back to 2. Look to G6 to and live. I remember the lyrics. 'Tis recorded in His word. Hallelujah. Diminish up, passing tones. 7th on the 1, 3. And only that you look and you had a request there. go over the 1-5 bounce. Sorry, I got caught up reading what's in the list. So we can be in B flat. The bounce, you see 5-1-4 bounce. 5-1-4. 5-1-4. 5-1-4. Five, 1, 4. 5, 1, 4. 5, 1, 4. Trying to think, what song would I bounce the 5-1-4 in? Let's see, what's a good bouncing song? That would be any Pentecostal song. Can I get away with that here? It's not mapping it to here, because the bounce works good with an actual rhythm. I can pull up a rhythm. Let's see. We have drum track. And that's not good for a bounce rhythm. Let's slow that down. Church. I gotta change my drum pattern. Give me a chance to find what I can use for a drum pattern. We need to find in here. Nope. Nope, that's not what I want either. Nope, not that. Jazz. Speed it up a bit. Give me a little more smoother. Bounces are good with testimony songs. Yeah, I need something a little more subtle than that. Nope, not that. Nope. Nope. Okay, I gotta find another beat. Swing. Swing 2. So 1, 4, 5 for the 5-1-4. 5-1-4. Without a song, I gotta think of a song I can put this one with this beat. Oh, magnify the Lord. Faster than that. For he five, one, four, four, five, six, two, five. Not a good song to use. All right. So the bounce is its own. It is its own language. What you have to be able to have is the ability to hear the downbeat and the upbeat simultaneously. What did I turn on? Harp. This is the downbeat. This is downbeat. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. So if you're doing the 1-4 downbeat, bum, 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 bum. So your left hand has to be disciplined to feel the downbeat, no matter what the speed is. We can have a correct drum track to do this too. Let me slow it down. This is not. You need a beat with it. Trying to find country. Here we go, country. The 1-4, 1, 4. All down. Let me see. Trying to pick a song that would have that one pattern and 1-4. Let's see. Can't Nobody Do Me Like Jesus. E flat. Four. My other bounce. That's my triple bounce. Storm cloud on the ocean, soldier on the lawn. Yeah, those are the other songs that will help you to interject the bounce, but it's so quick in those type of songs. Let me see. There's a storm. There's a storm cloud on the ocean, and it's for one. Your soul's not anchored in Jesus. It will surely. F. This is the one bounce. That's what I want to hear. So the bounce is what you're looking for is the patterns to know when you're going to switch the bounce. And as you can see, I have different variations depending upon what I want to do. So I'm not locked into, why is this moving? There's nothing touching this. There's nothing touching this to move it. It must not be tight enough. The bounce is its own country, you might say, for me, because I can bounce almost on any particular song just to throw it in there. If I was doing a hymn, I'll throw a bounce in. What's the hymn I would throw a bounce in? Anything that's up tempo. Guide me, O thou great, not Gabriel. Guide my feet. That's the spiritual. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I. Yeah. That's my bounce. And the bounce is just rhythmic notes playing off of each other. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Versus just playing one note. Good for getting yourself comfortable learning a song, but then if you want that song to have some rhythm to it, guide, let's slow down, guide. This is the wrong beat. Should be more of a standard march tempo. You suggested, Lord, I'm trying to make 100. Lord, I'm running. Gotta make 199 and that won't. How much? What's the other words to that? 99 and a half won't do. I can't remember the words. Some of these songs have the same chord patterns, just somebody changed the words to it. I actually hear, Lord, I'm running through a little more faster pace. Well, yeah, the churches have their own tempo, which you may do in one congregation. The next one you go to may either do it slower. You'll do a Church of God in Christ tempo. They'll do it 3 times faster. It's like they're rushing to get through the song. I don't think I had any. That's what I was going through. Do I have any more? We did the tutor. Oh, Look and Live. That's what I was doing. So we did the traditional one. Look and live. The Holy in His word. Hallelujah. Only that you look and live. So then the choir version was. Message all my fruitful, which is kind of an actual bounce, but you've got to be able to hear the lyrics in between the notes. Lyrics in between the notes, in between the chords. Message from the chord in His word. Look and live, my brother, live. Look 2:6, knock and live. It recorded in the word. Oh, hallelujah. It's in His word. Hallelujah. And it's only that you. How can I teach this one? 1, 5, 3, diminished on the +1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn on the 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 5 is recorded in His word. Hallelujah. 3, 4, 5, sharp, flat to 5, 5, 5, look and 1, 2, with jazz chords, 3, stay on the 3, 6, back to the 2 with a flat 7 on the 2 C. 7, 3, 6, 3, 6, back to the 2, 5, 1, 4, hallelujah, and it's 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, sharp 4, 5, 1. All these chords that are assigned to this song have to be practiced, number 1, heard, number 2, and then executed by your fingering, number 3. And that's tying it all together. I'm hearing it in my head, but I'm slowing myself down so I can talk through what I'm hearing in my head. Because in my head, I'm hearing. actual video that the viewer made a mention of, I was just playing it as a instrumental. So I wasn't designed to be a lesson, because I was again combining two different styles of the same song. So as always, the reviewers that are requesting songs that I demonstrate, I never know what your skill level is, and it's not to throw shade, because I was a learning musician at one time, but no musician wanted to share with me the chords they were doing. I share the chords I do, but I've got to make sure that there's a foundation for you to be able to receive those chords. If you don't have a foundation of scales, chords, and progressions, then what I show you or tell you will just be like throwing seeds onto an actual stony ground. You have no way to say, okay, oh, he's doing a B flat chord, but he's throwing a G flat seventh on top of that chord. That won't make any sense to you if you don't know what a G is, a flat, or a seventh is. So my entire YouTube channel is designed and geared towards teaching you all the things the musicians would not tell me about theory. So then when you hear or see me talk to it or break it down, you have a reference. And we all need a reference. We need to know that that's B flat, and that's a B flat chord. But it is an extension of the B flat chord. It's what? 3 B flat chords, 4 B flat chords. B flat, B flat, B flat, B flat, B flat. All on a set of fingers. The highest, the lowest, and every note in between. So for me to go and you not know that all those chords are built on several different scales, on the major scale, on the jazz bebop scale, all those chords are built off of scales. I could not hear these chords in songs until I learned that these scales exist. And then when I heard the note, I'm like, oh, that's where that chord comes from. They're building that chord from this, but they kept the flat in there. I had to be able to know that note is there. This chord is built on the major scale. Why? Because I can play every note of the major scale and find those chords in the major scale. So that's what I push on my channel. I know other channels will give you their interpretation, which is great because I learned from their skill level. But mine is keep it as basic as possible. Where the chord's coming from, find the major scale, that's half of the chords. Then find the other scales, the minor scale, the harmonic minor scale, that's the other third of chords. Then the rest is from the other various scales that are out there where they build chords from. And all they do is borrow position for a particular melody. So I hope that helps the musician who could benefit from what that request was for the look and live chords. Those are the chords I use, but you have to know the song. Number one, first you know the song in what it sounds like from the hymnal standpoint, and then the reharmonization or the remixing by that group. There is a video out there on YouTube. If you look up "Look and Live," and you see the different choirs that did different variations of it. Question: could I play "Daily I Shall Worship Thee" in F or F sharp? I don't know that song, so I have to look that up. Daily I shall. Okay, that's a praise type song. I see so many different versions of it. Let's pick this one. All right, so a gospelized praise song. Look at this chord. So I heard the version by Bishop Lambert, and there's an organist in the back playing the song. So because I can hear the melody and I heard the recording of the melody, I'm like, oh, okay, that's traditional. Pentatonic scale. Because I know where it's going, I can borrow chords. I know it's going to transition from the 7, 3, 6. Stay in the 6, but throw that chord on the 6. 2. You go to the 3. I like going to the 4 to give you that more fuller sound. To the 5. Find the melody, number 1, by someone playing it correctly or singing it correctly. Then I begin to see the chord patterns. 1, 4, 5, 4, 2 in major, 6. We'll go with a 6 major, 2, 1, 4, 5, 1. That's the bass patterns. That's where if you get lost in any chord, you can always go back to there. I call them the home chords. I meant those are the home chords. Those chords will always fit. It's when you start to go away from home and you get lost, you know, you can always go back home. Now you can go outside of home. Outside of home, go back home. Outside of home. Now you can stay and go to the home or go here. A little arpeggio. Again, that's where your 5 is, which is the C chord. So if you have a good repertoire of chords in C, you can go pull them out. Of course, this is a praise song, which means there's a gap of space. There's no real timing. It is what the person singing is doing. So as a musician, you've got to fill in that gap. Let me see. You can go here. All right. Let's see if they did anything different in there. I'm just listening to it. Okay, so there's all the classical movements. Scales. These are scales and chording around the scales. And I did do a series on this channel of how to chord the major scales. There it is. Had to remember myself which way that I went with that. It's about finding a path of chords that you can pull out on a song like this that will fit because it's staying within a particular. Now, if it goes to a minor thing, you see. Sound will song minor or sound crazy in a minor. Stay in the minor. I had to hear it in my head where the chords would fall in a minor, which is why you don't want to. When people start to reharmonize songs that are in major and they make them whatever they make them, it really takes away from the actual version of the song that can be recognized. Sometimes I'm like, okay, why would you want to do that? Well, because you can. Because again, the loudest instrument rules. Like the person in the microphone who has the loudest microphone, they're in charge. So if you got to put you put a hot mic in front of an alto who can't sing, they'll mess up your entire song because they'll be singing soprano and tenor, but not the alto part. All right, so that's Daily I Shall. And again, once I heard the song, I'm like, oh, okay, this is Pentecostal. I'll put it like that. The Pentecostal mode. Like if they were to go, I need, I'm not to sing it. The old, I'm not going to sing. I need thee. Sing walk down. Every hour. 2, 5. Walk up from the 4, 1 to the 4. Oh, bless. Now, are you in B flat or are you in E flat? You're in B flat. My Savior, I come to. Used to whole tone scales. There it is. Anyway, let's see what's left on the. We've been here a while. I'm happy that the computer is holding up too. I think that's it. Oh, Willie Banks, Lord, I know you've been so good. So that sounds like quartet. Willie Banks, Lord, I know you've been so good. And this is 2 days ago this request came in. Let's see. Willie Banks. Okay, let's find a good studio version and not a live version, because live version has changed from studio. Here we go, studio version. No, it's from a cassette. B major. Oh, this one. All right, let's see if I can find one that's not from a cassette. I don't think they were doing B major back then. Let's see. We want Willie Banks though. There are other versions from other people, and I want Willie Banks. Come on. I realize so many other people have been singing it. Okay, is this from a cassette tape too? Let's see if this one is from a cassette tape. All right, this is a good song, not the same word, not the same song. Lord, you've been so good to me, right? Lord, you've been so good. Okay. All right, let's go with a live version then, since I can't find a good studio version. Oh, it's B major. Okay. That's where it started. All right, so it's a live version. As I said, the live versions are always different than a studio version. So they're starting with these chords in B major. Bum, 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 which is the minor. Here we go. Are we jazz? Oh, da, 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 da. Yeah, because the quartets were jazz. Those are the chords they went through in this opening. Just listen to it again. So there's a minor in there. All right, so they're going through a lot of chords. The minor, then they're going to the major, minor, and to the D major, E major, then they went to an A, G, trying to get comfortable with what they're doing. Strange set of chords. Let's keep listening. B major. All right, go a little ahead so they get into the song. Come on, get into the song. Get into the song. Come on, get into the song. All right, so they finally got into the song. Bebop, my bebop, jazz, 1. B. That's the bass line. Because I know the bass patterns in songs of this style, it's just a matter of matching it up so that I can feel comfortable, or anyone would feel comfortable. So you're going to be in the 1, the 4, the 1, the 5, the 4, 1, 1, and turn on the 5. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see how much more is in this song. Not very many chords. All right, so the lead part. To the 2, which is the D flat C sharp, to the 5. No, I no. Oh, they went. Then the bass or the tenors come in. Lord, he's been good. Lord, he's been good. Lord, he's been good. That 7th in there to get to the 4. And Lord, he's been good too. Turn on the F sharp, G flat. In this case, it will be F sharp because B major uses F sharp. Let's listen some more. Chromatically up to bum, bum, bum. Okay, so those are pretty much all the chords. They're just in an actual vamp part. I'm not going to keep on playing the same chord. It's traditional quartet sound, not the contemporary quartet sound, but the traditional quartet sounds, where they use the number system: the 1, 4, 5, the 2, and then a 1 with a 7th on it. In this case, they went with the 1 minor when they started. And if you can play the D major scale, it's the same notes that are found in the E minor scale or B minor scale. Change the position. Same notes. Then they go major, which is that traditional quartet sound. They take you into minor and then pull you into major. And I believe that was the last caught up to all the viewer requests one day ago. Yes, we have caught up. So I want to thank those who have come in and those who have contributed with their comments. I hope you did take a chance to hit that like button, because that helps me in the YouTube algorithm. Strangely enough, we're getting a lot more views, but a lot less likes. So I got to push this out there just to make sure. There we go. To make sure that you are reminded to hit that like button if you haven't done that. It does help me to get pushed into the algorithm. Seems like every time I get on YouTube and I get my feed, there's a new musician popping up who's teaching gospel music. No shade to them. They are doing what they have worked on and want to be able to offer in a way of teaching. The more teachers, the merrier. My style is from, 50 years ago? So they are incorporating the styles that are prevalent to the musicians of today. So I help to, what I like to say is I put an actual basement to what the chords are that are being used today. Otherwise, you'd have to have a lot of chords and not knowing where they come from and how they are formed and how they have morphed or evolved into your more contemporary chords of today. So again, thank you all for watching. I don't think I've none of the songs I played got through to the YouTube algorithm. I only heard them on my headphones. Of course, the system I'm using does not loop back into software. that's an upgrade I'm going to have to really think about making, because this is, again, this is Studio B. This is not the main studio, but this is the one that I like having sunlight around me, and not as spaced out as the other system is. And again, it's my wife's storage room, you might say, all those dresses you see behind me. But we make it work. We make it work. And you coming in and supporting with your views and your comments helps me to feel encouraged that I can continue to support. So let's give me a hand of applause. Oh yes, I've got that good stuff here too that I'd like to be able to push into any presentation that I'm doing. So if there are any other questions, I know I've been here a while. I probably need to go and get me something I got a little bit of water left. I'm going to need to refill the bottle because I can hear my throat getting hoarse. A conversation is always good. You want to be able to communicate what you're doing so that it's not just watch me, but this is how I actually look at music and put it together. And you, again, get a better view of my core Chrome. It's sat since 2012 in the basement waiting to replace the Yamaha S70, yeah, SX70, which is still down there in the basement. Do I have a preference? There's some more features on the S70 that I like that are not on this one, especially for organ use, so that one will stay in place. If I had to swap it out, I'd have to get another controller for something that I need to be able to do. Or maybe there might be a way of mapping one of my buttons here to turn on something. I'll have to figure that out. But for now, it's found a home here in Studio B. So if there are no questions, let me just acknowledge those who have come in. Jeff, Michael Knight, Gins, of course Hezekiah, and that's it. I believe that's all that have come in. Again, it's been a while since I've been on, so now that I know that I got this platform up and running, I may come on a little bit more frequently, because this is the closest room without me having to turn off all that equipment I have downstairs and then run downstairs and do something. I just roll out of bed, stop at the bathroom on the way over, throw on a shirt, and I can be live within a half an hour. So again, thanks for watching. Sam Tobit, Sound of Joy Music Services. I don't have an outro built into here yet. I'm going to work on that, building an outro screen. This is all a learning process. You want to see what this room looks like without all this? Let's see if I can turn on this camera. There we go. This is the room. This is Studio B. This is upstairs where the wife has all her stuff. And no, I can't make her take this stuff out. This stuff is going to be here until. So Sam Tobit, Sound of Joy Music Services. Thanks for watching. Take care. Be blessed. See you on the next stream. Bye now.